I'm Bonnie Glass-Coffin, and I'm a professor of anthropology here on campus, and I'm also an affiliate professor of our religious studies program. And we've brought together this amazing group of students for two reasons today. First of all, we want to talk about how you don't have to give up who you are in terms of your deeply held religious identities, in terms of your faith traditions, in terms of your values when you become an Aggie. Being an Aggie means bringing your whole self to the table, and it means being open to exploring deeply as you learn to engage with different cultures and different traditions, as you learn to deeply learn about new ways of being in the world. That helps you become more confident in who you are. And so it's important to hear these stories in order to know that all Aggies are not alike. We have different backgrounds in religious traditions and ethnicities, and yet in bringing all that to the table, we can build bridges with one another and become more deeply engaged and confident in who we are. So that's the first purpose of this panel today. And the second purpose of the panel is to recognize that as we bring our whole selves to the table, including our religious selves, our spiritual selves, as we share our values and our commitments, we have to be very deeply respectful of the fact that other people may have different backgrounds, religious traditions, ethnicities, commitments. And so one of the things that we're doing with this panel is we are talking with these amazing students about how to build bridges with people who are apparently different than us, but might be more like us at the core than we recognize. And so part of what you're going to learn today in this brief panel is how to begin to build those bridges and seek out people who are different than you in order to learn from them, in order to be able to have diversity and respect as part of the tradition of being an Aggie. And so I thank you in advance for participating in this panel, and I look forward to the stories that you're going to share. So what I'd like to start is to ask each person to just sort of introduce who you are, and what really drives and motivates you. What's sort of your main key value, and what faith tradition do you have that might reflect how that value came to be expressed in your life?
Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, so my name is Adil Abdallah. I'm from Palestine. I've been here for 5 years. I'm doing my PhD in engineering. So I am a Muslim, and I practice the main two pillars that I feel comfortably in practicing are prayer. I pray 5 times a day and feel okay to do that here. And I fast Ramadan, and I feel, although the majority of people here aren't Muslims, but I'm welcome to practice these two pillars of Islam.
My name's David Tauber. I'm a Buddhist, and although there are a large number of Buddhist groups or sects, the one that I practice focuses primarily on developing compassion and wisdom. And one of the major practices that I have here is nonviolence or compassion to all beings, including animals, and so I'm a vegetarian. Practice things like that, which many people respect and appreciate around here. I've got many friends who are not Buddhists who actually like to eat with me because they like to have an opportunity to not eat meat and kind of switch things up a little bit. So that's one large thing.
I'm Bronson Ross Kelly. I am an LDS Christian, and I have studied a great number of religious traditions. And as a Christian, the most important value to me is the core doctrine that Jesus taught was that we are supposed to love everyone. And to me, that means that we need to be tolerant of one another, and no matter who we are or what we believe in, we need to appreciate that in others. So,
hello, my name is Alicia Olea, and I'm an anthropology major at Utah State. For me, I'm more spiritual. I have followed my traditional Native American beliefs of the Cahuilla tribe, and that is, we respect one another. We respect all living creatures, whether winged, two-legged, humans, anything, because we're all one. We're all connected.
Hi, I'm Jeff Andrews. I am the Organizations and Diversity Vice President here on campus for the Utah State Student Association. I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I feel that a core belief that I follow in my interactions with my fellow students is following the example of our Savior, Jesus Christ, and the teaching that says, do unto others as others would do unto you. Really, my interactions, I just try to love everybody, greet everybody with a smile, be open, talk with everybody, say hi to random strangers, and I feel that if I do that, I feel warm inside, and I feel I get to meet new people, and that is really what sums up my my interactions with fellow students based with my religion.
Thanks you guys so much for sharing a little bit about who you are and your values. I think that's great for the new students who are coming this way to understand what a diverse place Utah State University is. And one of the things, especially as we all are come from different religious backgrounds, what I'm wondering is, how have you learned how to engage with people who have different religious backgrounds than you do? How do you build bridges across those religious traditions in ways that you can find common ground?
Sure. So, I've participated in many interfaith discussions here in Cache Valley, and I found out that there are a lot of similarities among religions than far more than differences. So this is like a common ground that we can share and discuss with each other.
I find that there are two extremely effective ways of kind of bridging apparent gaps. The first one is to share values, because people tend to have relatively consistent values across many faith traditions. The other one is storytelling. Within the Buddhist tradition that I follow, parables are a really big part of the whole learning and belief structure. And so I spend a lot of my time reading parables, and when I share those parables with other people, normally there's something that others can associate with, and that really kind of disarms people if they find, it's some sort of weird religion nobody's heard of, whatever. That kind of breaks down the gaps, and people are more willing to share, be interested, whatever. So.
I think that the best way to engage with other people in their religions and share about our own religions is in simple conversation. There have been many, many opportunities that I've had to discuss with people their very diverse religious backgrounds here on campus, be they Jewish or Buddhist or atheist or agnostic. And it's been extremely enlightening for me, and it has also helped develop my own faith as I've been able to share my core beliefs with them. So that's what I think helps most with religious acceptance.
For me, I think, we have these differences in religion, and there's so many differences, there's so many similarities, but the thing to remember is we're all human, no matter how different we are, how different we look or act. We're all human, we're all in this world together, and we need to work with each other and respect each other and be open-minded.
When I interact with other people about different religions, I understand one thing. I understand that religion is great. Here at Utah State, there are many religions represented on campus. There are many students who have many different beliefs, and it's awesome to see the diversity here and to understand that religion makes people better. Each one of us here in this panel, we have certain convictions that have driven us to do certain things, and it makes us better people for that. And so when I deal with other people with different religions than my own, I just realize that they're going out doing things that make them better. I go do what I believe, and it makes me better. And as us better people in general, we should be able to collaborate and find similarities and work off of those.
Thanks so much for sharing. I think that's fantastic. And my final question for you guys is, what advice do you have for these incoming Aggies in order to be able to bring their whole selves to the table, and in order to be able to effectively engage with people who are different than themselves in order to really have a deeply fulfilling experience here at Utah State University?
Yeah, my advice is for incoming freshmen or even international students is first like to look up like the resources that there are here in Cache Valley, and to explore other religions and participate in activities to further understand what others like believe in, and really to remember that religion in practice is really like protected here, and you can practice whatever you want.
My advice is essentially just go out and talk to people. If they seem timid about, talking about, well, religion in particularly, but all things, it's probably not because they're disinterested. It's probably because they are nervous about talking about things as well. So don't take any apparent timidity to mean disinterest. Just, break the ice, and people will be more than willing to talk about all manners of things. It's actually rather remarkable around here.
The biggest piece of advice that I can give is just be proud of who you are, and be okay and be open to share with people what your beliefs are, and be ready to see what their beliefs are, because you'll find a rich diversity of people all around you if you just ask. And if you're open with people, then they'll be open back in turn.
Get involved in student clubs. Like, there's all different kinds of multicultural clubs. There's the LGBT, and if you get involved with those, you'll have different perspectives to engage in, and you see other points of view from like the multicultural clubs, and it's just a great experience. It's a bit overwhelming, but it's a great experience.
Here at Utah State, we have a very unique atmosphere. One of the other days I was speaking with the Vice President of Student Services, James Morales. You guys might meet him. He travels all around the country going to different conferences, and he says everywhere he goes, people come up and introduce themselves as Aggies to him. And he has attended and worked at many different universities around the country, and not once has any of these other universities come up and said, "Hey, I'm a Ute," or "Hey, I'm a Golden Gopher." So at Utah State, we identify ourselves as Aggies. That is a common ground that we all have. So you need to build bonds with your fellow Aggies here. Put religion aside. It doesn't matter what other beliefs people have. Here at Utah State, we are all Aggies, and to have a true college experience, we need to act as Aggies and unite and have fun. And if we let religion get in the way of that, that's just wrong. And so my advice is to you is to remember first that we're Aggies here, to have fun, and to interact with everybody because we're Aggies.